I recently bought a big collection of toys that include a lot of amazing things that I'm going to open later for Vintage Toy Freedom. One includes this Toy Biz Marvel Superheroes Daredevil in his stupid black kind of metal costume. Um, I don't know if it will be aired at this time, but you see this Fortress of Fangs there. I have a couple kind of on a Fortress of Fangs kick. I didn't open one, but there were some sealed contents, and I put one together. Um, so I'm pretty stoked because I want to kind of dig into this stuff that I bought. And this is something I've never seen before. And, you know, I've seen a lot. So this is a Galoob who made micro machines. This is obviously a macro machine because it's bigger than a micro machine, hence the name. Smash Up's Real Crash Sounds on Impact. And this is a Ferrari. They made a Porsche, a Range Rover, and an Avante. There's some other talking things and I don't know, some other things here. Right before I made this, I pushed this button and I regretted it. It says, try me, push bumper for crash sound. I'm really hoping that it works. And I'm kind of hoping it doesn't work. You'll see why. I don't know how well you can hear that, but it obviously sort of played the crash sound at first, and now it's just this very loud, piercing noise that I'm sure my dog hates. So I'm going to open this bad boy up. This is from 1990. I was 7 years old, and I'm surprised I didn't see this on the shelf at Toys R Us or Children's Palace or KB. I was never a big KB person. And so there it is. It's a, you know, it says Macro Machines Galoob. On the bottom actually says 1991, so who knows when it really came out. And I don't know, I guess, you know, was Galoob trying to compete with Hot Wheels and Matchbox, so they made them a little bit bigger? Because the whole point of Micro Machines is that they were small and they had little cool play sets. I had the fish and chips one. And yeah, so I guess the idea is that it crashes, it makes a crashing sound. You know, so kind of cool, but I mean, this definitely would have been anywhere near my top choice for a toy car. I definitely would have picked a Micro Machines play set or, you know, obviously your Hot Wheels and your... Okay, I was just waiting for that to stop because that was kind of driving me nuts. Now these ones, these Macro Machines reversibles, they transform. I guess it's some kind of like, I mean, it's kind of cool. Bronco into MR2. I really like MR2s. You know, crew cab into a limo. So I don't really know how those work. I've never actually seen those either. I've never seen these either. So I don't know. First time ever seeing this. You know, bought a collection off some guy had these two. I decided on the Ferrari rather than the Porsche. Not really sure why. Just kind of, I don't know. I was kind of digging this paint scheme. It was definitely kind of an 80s paint scheme that you'd see like on an old Nissan or something. So thanks for watching. Drive careful because you definitely don't want this to happen to you. An acquaintance of mine got into a bad car wreck recently, and thankfully everything was okay, other than some, you know, some scratches and things like that. I actually was in a car wreck. I'll end with that just so you have something a little bit more interesting than this piercing Macro Machine vehicle. So I got my license when I was 16 and a half. Because in Kentucky you have to be 16 and a half to get your license. Excuse me. And I totaled my car 11 days after I got my license. I had a 1990 Toyota Camry. It was red. And this was the year 1999, so it was, you know, not super old. And my parents had bought that new. Like it was, you know, they gave that to me and they bought something else. And so what had happened was I was driving. I'm going to show you. I'm going to kind of demonstrate this. I don't have any other toy cars. It's not like a big honking G.I. Joe vehicle. Here. We'll use this Kenner Megaforce tank, which I had this in childhood. I was happy to find this recently. So I'm here. There's no light. I'm turning left. I'm going to school. I was a junior in high school, and you know, obviously a new driver. So I look left. It's clear. I look right, and I said, okay. Well, after that, you know, white car, I can go. So the white car goes. I go. What do I not do? I don't look left again. And there was a truck, and it came, and I remember seeing it. and I stepped on the gas. I thought if I could, floor it, maybe I could get out of its way. But what happened, obviously it wasn't like this tank. It hit me right here in the back door, and I spun, and I was like that on the opposite side. The traffic was obviously flowing this way. And, totally just this is obviously is a two-door, but, the back door was just totally smashed in. The only damage I had, I hit my head on this window, and I had some, a little bit of cuts on my ear and the side of my head, nothing big. I mean, I didn't even need stitches. It was just like a little kind of, I wouldn't even call it a shard of glass, just like little tiny dots of glass. Car was total. I was obviously shaken, had a little bit of, PTSD from it. Thankfully, there were no other cars coming because, if that were the case, it could have, been hit. I remember when I kind of came to, the first thing I did was turn off the radio. I was listening to WBN, Dawn Patrol. If you're from Cincinnati, you know what that is. And that was not what I wanted to hear when I had just, experienced a car crash. Turned that off. There was some guy, military, kind of in his dress uniform. I don't know if his, Navy or Marines or whatever it was, came over, was talking to me. Ambulance came. They're worried about my neck. Took me to the hospital. All that kind of stuff. So it was a big mess. So my point here is be careful. Drive safe. You don't want this to happen. If you've ever been in a car wreck, that like sound. Sometimes you'll hear, I've heard a few wrecks, just driving and, somebody, runs a red light or whatever the case may be. And that's like a horrible sound. That, it does kind of sometimes trigger a little jerky reaction from me. So be careful out there. Wear your seatbelt. Use your turn signal. Look both ways. Check again. You don't want to get into a wreck, and you certainly don't want this to happen to you.